Good morning. Al Odermatt here, calling the game for you, game opener. We want to welcome you to the SFCN Channel 17. This is a coverage of our American Leadership Academy lacrosse between the Warriors and the Timberwolves. And there go the Warriors taking the field. They've got a roster, numbers up to 40, but approximately 24 players. Timberwolves are on the field, and we should have a pretty good game tonight. I talked with the coaches before the game and wished them luck. We'd like to thank our sponsors, MVP Sports, and the Car Guys. We'd like to ask you to take advantage of them. They're right here in town. They have something for just about everybody of interest. When they get together, oh, I'm sorry, introduce yourself to the audience.
With Al calling the game today, Dallin Kimber, the JV head coach for the Spanish Fork Warriors. And as Al said, it should be a beautiful night, great game today. We're just here for the pregame lineups, kind of sportsmanship gesture that's implemented in the sport of lacrosse. The referee kind of explains how they're going to be calling the game. Players get to know each other a little bit, shake hands, and then we face off. So.
You probably will hear a little bit of overtalk. We have broadcasters in the next room for the West Coast high schools, and I think we'll be able to talk okay, and you should be able to hear us. Might explain a little bit about the face-off. Those of you that are not familiar with lacrosse, I want to tell you it's a pretty exciting game, and it's fun to watch. The biggest complaint I hear about soccer is that it gets boring and nobody scores. In lacrosse, there are lots of scores taking place. On the face-off, they're getting ready for right now in the center of the field. They have the opposing players come up. They will line up, place their sticks on the ground parallel to the center line. They have to be 4 to 6 inches apart. The referee will put the ball between, and neither one of them can move. They literally can't move until he blows the whistle. When he blows the whistle, you're going to see lacrosse start. And there we go. Warriors take possession of the ball right off the bat. He takes it off to the right side, and it goes out of bounds. I might explain to you the out of bounds, when your team throws the ball on a pass and your teammate doesn't catch it, it goes across the out of bounds, the other team takes possession. I'll explain the difference to that rule on a shot a little bit later. Timberwolves are coming through. They take a shot. The goalie takes the save. He passes out. Ball's up already into the goal area. Pass across. Takes a shot. And we got a goal. Warriors take first blood.
Beautiful transition by Spanish Fork there. Save from Morgan Dunn. Great quick outlet pass to Porter Graham. And tic-tac-toe passes across the field. Got an easy dump on the crease.
We're far enough away, I can't really read the numbers on some of those jerseys across the field. How about you?
Well, maybe. I'm a little bit more familiar with the boys, so I don't pay attention to jersey numbers for Spanish Fork as much.
Who got the goal?
Josh Adamson, off the assist from Ben Blade.
Josh Adams, 1 goal. I'm going to try and keep track of the goals for us. We don't have a scoreboard readily available to us in this room. We have to lean way to the right. Timberwolves are on the attack. They're coming up into the goal area. Now, when they come up, they take a shot. It goes over the net. You'll see the ball go out of bounds, but you'll also see a Timberwolf pick up a ball and come back onto the field. Closest player to the ball as it goes out of bounds gets possession of the ball. That's one of the reasons why the attacking team will keep a player behind the goal, because he can make play as well as protect your possession of the ball. Ball's out to the front of the goal area, passing it back and forth. Across to the left side of the goal. You'll probably have an occasion to see players take an immediate fast run in front of the goal. We just had a player, Timberwolf player, go across to the goal, but nobody passed to him. It's very similar to basketball. You pass the ball around the outside, the player takes a cut across the goal, and he takes a shot. Missed it. Goalie has the ball. He takes the ball, passes it over to the left. Now the goalie will leave the goal, and he'll come up all the way up outside the goal area sometimes. Warriors are attacking on the right. They come in, take a wild shot, and they score it again.
That's what happens when you don't pick anybody up in transition. Timpanogos is doing well on the face-off so far.
See who got that one?
Yes, that was Peyton Kimber, number 40. Him and Gavin McLean on the first midfield line. First group of 3 players that go out on offense usually are the 2 highest point scorers, both averaging about 5 points a game.
Okay, we're having the face-off. Referee blows a whistle. Warriors take possession.
Wyatt Lefevre scoops up the ground ball, and the Warriors win the face-off.
Okay. Bring ball out, pass up to, goes ball behind the net to the player. They're moving the ball around, trying to get in front of the net. As it comes back out to the top of the goal area, again, they're passing it around. Nobody's cutting to the goal. So far, they've had pretty good luck just shooting from the outside. Okay, the ball's going back behind the goal. Attacker takes it over to the left side of the goal. He brings it up.
There's Kirby Farnworth on the dodge. Throws the pass a little bit low to Austin James. But Austin's able to retain possession and keep the ball moving around. Keep the offensive possession alive for Spanish Fork.
Okay, we're back out to the beginning, to the top of the goal area again. He comes in, takes a shot.
There's a shot in the goal.
Guess what? We got 3-0 so far. Who got that one?
Gavin McLean, who we were just talking about. Him and Peyton Kimber lead the Spanish Fork offense from the midfield unit.
You know the number?
Number 32.
Gotcha. We're back up for the face-off again. Now on a face-off, when they put the ball down and blow the whistle, the players taking the face-off can only use the sticks. They can't use any part of the body to try and take possession of the ball. They can shoulder to shoulder to try and muscle, but that stick has to control the ball. So a lot of times they'll get possession, scoop it up, and run. Sometimes they just take possession and throw it ahead or to the side to one of the wingers.
You see the last possession down for Spanish Fork. We saw their first midfield line on. You notice after the face-off, a couple of players running through what's called the substitution box between the pylons down there on the sideline. In lacrosse, you can substitute on the fly, much like you can in hockey. So as long as one person gets off the field, the next person can come on. So you'll see a lot of substituting as the teams are in transition, substituting more defensive players for offensive players or vice versa, depending on what side of the field you're headed to.
You can't run around a lot like this without getting tired legs.
No. That's very true.
Oh, that was a push and nobody saw it.
Now, for those of you who've never watched a lacrosse game at home, there is body checking allowed. It has to come from the front or the front side. Can't lower the head.
Much like soccer. It has to be shoulder to shoulder. You can't drop the shoulder. You can't use the hip. It has to be body to body.
Exactly.
Okay, ball's behind the goal. Attacker's coming up.
The quick double by Timpanogos on Austin James.
Tried to bounce it into the goal, but he missed. The Warrior runs over to take possession. Now you'll notice when he takes the ball, he doesn't run and chase the ball. They have balls scattered around the field so that when it goes across the line, they just pick it up, step back on the field, the referee whistles play on.
Really keeps the pace of the game moving and helps lacrosse keep its nickname as the fastest sport on 2 feet. Chase Coleman with the ball, possessing up top. Runs away from the pick.
He's making a run, takes a shot. It goes over the net. The goalie, I think, was able to parry that. When the goalie takes possession of the ball, he catches it in his stick. Inside that crease area, they can't touch him. But you'll notice that there's a lot of stick swinging and a lot of pushing with the sticks outside that crease area which is approximately 9 feet or 9 feet, 3 yards around the circle. The goalie, if he leaves that circle, he's just like another player on the field, and they can go at him, try and knock the ball loose.
And just so a team isn't able to just hold on to the ball, the goalie only has 4 seconds to get out of the crease whenever he gets a save.
Passing the ball around, looking for an open shot. They're trying to get the man free. Those of you that don't know lacrosse, you can only have 6 attackers in that goal area. And the defense are allowed 7, including the goalie. You'll notice some of the players that are defenders will have a little longer stick. Actually, it's a lot longer. They use that to the advantage of a defender. They can keep you from running around them, and it gives them advantage so that if they are good at it, here he comes, takes a shot, missed.
Ben Blade on the missed shot. He got triple teamed
Okay,
there.
Timberwolves take possession. They bring the ball up. You notice the players trying to get at him with a stick. Passes off to the number 4 player. Comes into the goal area. Pass out to the front of the goal. Timberwolves are running across the goal, trying to take a cut for an open man, but it hasn't worked so far. The defender from the Warriors has been pretty good. They take a shot. It's blocked down.
Good save by Morgan Dunn, the goalie for Spanish Fork.
We have a long pass to the front. The attacker moves into the area. He comes around the defender. He doesn't get a shot, but he goes behind the goal. They push him off, drops the ball, he picks it up. Okay, ball's back out to the front of the goal area.
See Porter Graham come off so that first offensive midfield line can come on. Kirby Farnworth, Gavin McLean, and Peyton Kimber for Spanish Fork. Now that they've got all their substitutions on, they'll get into their settled half-field offense.
He takes a shot. It's blocked. The goalie scoops it up, passes it off.
That will be a flag.
Yeah. When you see that yellow flag go up, if the Timberwolves had maintained possession, they can keep playing, and the referee will not blow his whistle. They can come down and keep playing, and if they score, the referee then calls a penalty and go anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And during that 30 seconds to 2 minutes,
actually get up to 3 minutes sometimes, depending on how bad the hit is.
Yeah, if the referee really doesn't like it, they'll give him 3. In fact, if they give him 3, sometimes they'll eject him, won't they?
There are some ejectionable penalties, but you can also foul out in lacrosse like you can in basketball if you get 5 minutes of penalty time total in a game. So
here's an example of the sticks. They Warrior knocked the ball down out of the lacrosse stick, but Timberwolves were able to keep possession. And we've got a goal. Timberwolves are on the board.
Now, if you were watching at home, you notice that Spanish Fork only had 6 defenders in the goal box, including the goalie. That's because, much like in hockey, whenever somebody gets a penalty, they're put in the penalty box for a certain number of time, as I was talking about, for 30 seconds up to 3 minutes. And those penalties are normally released. That means we can be back to even strength after a goal is scored by the attacking team.
Right. I was watching a game between Notre Dame and another team, and Notre Dame kept winning the face-offs and causing drop balls and keeping possession, and they were up 9-2. And start of the 4th period, the other team was able to come back, and it was 9-6 before Notre Dame scored again. Anything can happen in lacrosse. The 3-1 score is not lopsided.
Not in the least. Especially off a face-off. The fastest goal I think that's been scored in lacrosse has been around 3.5 to 4 seconds off that face-off, depending on how fast your face-off man is.
Yeah.
So it is definitely possible to put together a comeback, especially this early in the game in the first quarter still.
Yeah, they don't take too many shots outside the goal area because the goalie can see the ball coming. And One advantage to that short stick, it gives them the a little more control in the shot. More substitutions coming on and off. Okay. Timberwolves are bringing the ball down. He passes it forward. A bad pass goes over his intended player. The Warriors intercept it, pass it forward, and
Austin James pulls a shot wide off the pass from Gavin McLean.
That's an example of the closest player to the ball gets possession.
Yep.
Timberwolves were closer, and so they take possession.
And you'll see that happen a lot in transition, because what the offense tries to do on a fast break is they try and keep all the guys above, kind of if you draw a line out from the goal, call that goal line extended, they try and keep them all above there so that they can all be a threat to score. And so if a shot goes wide, a lot of the times an offensive player isn't there to back it up.
A lot of defending going on at the midfield. Timberwolves are trying to get the ball up into the goal area. Warriors are pretty good on defense and covering them and stopping the attack. That's why that long stick comes in handy. You can hold it out there, and if you're strong enough, you can keep the player from running past you.
Exactly. And in lacrosse, much like in basketball, how in basketball you have 10 seconds to get it up past the half-court line. In lacrosse, you have 20 seconds to get it from your defensive end across midfield, and then 10 seconds to get it into that offensive box that you see there on the field.
Okay. Warriors had a bad pass. And even though he was closer to the touch line, the Warriors take possession and go back on the attack. He's running through 3 players.
Peyton Kimber's able to split that triple team, dumps it off to Ben Blade. Takes a left-handed shot. There's another goal for Spanish Fork.
Yep. See who?
Yes, number 3, Ben Blade.
Pardon?
Number 3. Right there.
Okay, it's 4-1 now. Okay, we have a timeout.
Yeah, the timeout on Timpanogos.
Okay. Like to remind you again of our sponsors, MVP Sports and the Car Guys. Both been in business in Spanish Fork for some time. Stop in and have a look. Our timeout usually runs 2 minutes.
About a minute.
Minute?
Yep.
I've never kept track when I watch on TV. I hit the fast forward, right to the action.
That's what's great about recording television.
Referees will get together on the field during timeouts, talk about the action that's going on, tell each other about stuff that might be going on off the ball. Sometimes you have things taking place away from the action, and a referee crew of 3 has a pretty good eye on the field, and they don't miss very much. But once in a while, if you're across the field and you see something going on that's very minor, you might tell your partner, the other referees at the midfield, kind of keep an eye on number 000. There is no 000. Try and keep an eye on 000. He's doing some funny stuff, and that'll bring the attention to the referees of stuff that shouldn't be happening.
We're back out of that timeout. We'll see if Timpanogos is able to make any adjustments. Their 6-on-6 defense, their half-field defense has been playing pretty well so far today. It's just in transition they haven't been marking up on their man very well, which has led to a lot of pretty easy goals on the doorstep for Spanish Fork.
The defenders can't leave the area and defend outside on the other half of the field. They have to stay in their own half. The loose ball was knocked down and apparently went out, and the Warriors take possession, and you see them running up the field. Player with the ball is trying to go at the net, passes behind. Apparently the coach told the
beautiful stick check by number 17.
Yeah, told the
Max
Timberwolves. Yeah, he told Timberwolves to play a little closer. Don't let them get so many good passes.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
And we'll see you back when we come back from intermission. Hope you stay tuned. Hope you've enjoyed the game so far. It's been kind of exciting, especially if you're a Spanish Fork fan. Spanish Fork has been using the internet and YouTube for some time now on their high school sports. The hockey, that's the first time I heard about it when they were doing the hockey games. Be able to watch the game on YouTube. I would go down and tell the opposing coach, you know, you can watch the game on YouTube if you want.
It's a great tool to take advantage of if you have anybody out of state who's wanting to watch the game right now.
Oh, yeah. That's the wonderful thing about Utah. Everybody's got relatives someplace else.
That is the truth.
Okay,
we're back for the start of the second quarter. We have Wyatt Lefevre versus Adam Hatterley at the face-off dot.
Whistle blows. Warriors take possession. They pull back into the defending zone. Oh, there we go. You get who scored for the Warriors?
That would be number 13, Austin James, off the assist from Josh Adamson. There's just what we were talking about. Lacrosse, you can score very, very quickly. It took about 6 or 7 seconds off that face-off to get that goal.
Well, we've got 5 goals, and so far nobody's scored twice. So
Spanish Fork, they've really been emphasizing, since last season, they went 3-11. They didn't have a very good year offensively. And the new offensive coach, Kyle Angelos, has really been focusing on getting ball movement and sharing the rock to be able to get multiple people on the board.
Spanish Fork has the ball again. He passes the ball behind the goal, runs out, sub comes in. We have 2 subs coming in for the Warriors.
Now, for any of you at home who might have been following lacrosse for 4, 5, 6 years, you will know that Timpanogos and Spanish Fork used to be quite the heated rivalry. They both went to the state championship, played each other in the state championship 2 years in a row back in 2010 and 2011, and split those games. Timpanogos winning the first one and Spanish Fork winning the second. But since then, both programs have kind of been a little bit on a decline.
Yeah.
Timpanogos' numbers have been down. Their youth programs haven't been feeding them as much.
Well, the problem with high school sports, as everybody knows, your best players graduate.
That's exactly the problem.
Okay, we're coming in. Oh, shot goes way over the goal. Spanish Fork Warrior picks the ball up, brings it back into play. Timberwolves come out on a check. He takes a shot. Goalie blocks it.
Saved by the goalie.
Takes the ball, passes it behind his defenseman behind the net.
It's number 11, Sam Lewis for Timpanogos. This season, he's been doing pretty well in goal. Not spectacular. He's got about a 46% save percentage. So that means about 5 out of every 10 shots that he sees, he's able to save.
Okay, we have a change of possession here.
And just like we were talking about, you have the 20 seconds to get it across the half line. That's, you see the referee tap his head. That's what's known as a failure to advance, and that's a turnover. It's like a 10-second count in basketball.
Okay, we have a loose ball. The thing about loose balls is it draws players. Spanish Fork Warrior comes up with the ball. He runs around behind the goal, passes off to the right side. Okay, he tried to bounce it in again, and the ball goes across the back line. Tackman picks it up. Timberwolves pick him up, force him to pass off to the right. It's back out to the front of the goal. When they invoke the shot clock, how long do they have? 30?
That's one of the major differences, actually, between high school and college. In college, they have a 30-second shot clock. In high school, they have what's known as a stall warning. You'll see the referees put their arms up in kind of a right angle. And that means that the offensive team, whoever's attacking...
We got another score!
Whoever's attacking needs to keep the ball inside that box. If you see along the 30-yard line and kind of at the bottom of the numbers on each side, you see those blue lines marking the offensive box. And whenever you see the official's arms go up in that motion, then the offensive team has to keep it inside that attacking box.
Right. Did you get your number?
Yes, it was number 9, Chase Coleman.
Yeah, he was in a crowd. And we have another single score.
Great shot, high to high. I'm not sure we're going to see a whole bunch of stall warnings tonight.
No,
Both
they're
teams like
keeping
to
the
break.
action going.
Yeah. We've seen whenever Timpanogos does get the ball on offense, they like to take shots pretty quickly. So
I've noticed that Timpanogos is a little sloppy on a lot of their passes.
yes.
They can't connect catching the ball.
And like I was talking about how their youth programs have kind of been declining a little bit up in that Orem-Provo area where Timpanogos covers. There haven't been a lot of players starting very young to get a lot of experience with a stick. And so stick skills, being able to pass and catch consistently and effectively is something that usually suffers whenever that happens.
That's a big problem that they have with soccer. Kids start out and they can't do anything because their foot's not the hand.
Exactly.
In basketball, the big problem they have is they can't dribble because they have to look at the ball instead of where they're going.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with lacrosse. People, they're not used to having that extra 3 feet of metal in their hand to be able to pass and catch with.
We had a shot there. Timpanogos got it, but got knocked loose. Timpanogos attacker picks the ball up, but he's immediately swarmed.
Well done by Bradley Gardner. You saw that as he was on the half line, he lifted the attackman's hand so that he wasn't able to scoop the ball, let the ball go through, and was able to scoop it himself. It's good defensive play.
You can pound the daylights out of the opponent's stick, but
yes.
not him. You have to be very careful when you're going after the sticks that you don't hit the player, because then you get a slashing call that results in a penalty and a man short. Warriors pick up the ball, bring it back into play. Passing back and forth behind the goal. Yes, he did a 180 spin, and as he come back around, he let fly, and that ball went right in the net.
Great shot by number 11, Kirby Farnworth, the senior on that first midfield line.
If they keep this up, everybody in the team is going to score one.
That's always the hope as a coach, when everybody's able to get involved in the action.
It makes the team feel good because everybody's involved.
Exactly. Here we are at the face-off dot again with Gavin McLean facing off against
Timberwolves are trying to get it. And Warrior apparently committed an infraction and lost possession. Referee gave him possession.
And Timpanogos throws it away on a transition attempt. Ryan Dalton's able to snag it and then throws it right back away.
And Timberwolves got a score.
There's a goal off the unsettled situation by David Delano, number 8.
They were trying to stop the pass, and he was all alone out there in the open and got that ball and spun it right in the net.
It's a great ride, which is the term in lacrosse that we use for what's similar to a full court press in basketball, trying to stop the other team from advancing the ball up into their offensive box. And Delano was able to just snag that ball right out of the air and bounce it top left into the goal.
You'll notice in the face-off, across the field, there's 2 players from opposing sides. And on this side of the field, there are players from opposing sides. They're called the wingers. And when the ball is scooted free, as soon as the referee blows the whistle, they're free to move. And the goal, or the idea of getting the ball loose, is that they can come up and take possession.
It's a good
right
double
now,
team by Porter Graham and Wyatt Devlin. Josh Adamson going one-on-one with his defender.
He bounced it in right off the ground.
Moves it up top to number 53, Porter Graham. You can see he's really excited coming off the field. He doesn't usually get a chance to shoot the ball. He's kind of a defensive specialist on the midfield.
What was the number?
53.
53? Mm-hmm. There is no 53.
Well, there is now. His name is Porter Graham.
Porter Graham. He's not on the roster. He can't play. Going down for the face-off. Whistle. Warriors take possession. Pass it up. He was going to take a shot, but he instead passed it back to the top of the goal.
Good pass by Wyatt Devlin in the middle to Brandon Bates.
And he gets it in there. What was the name?
Number 7, Brandon Bates. Everybody's getting in on the act.
Nobody scored twice. And it's 9-2.
And Timpanogos will take their second time out of the half here in the second quarter, see if they can stop the bleeding.
They keep this up, we're not going to be able to pick an MVP of the player for the game.
Not at all.
Oh. And by the way, want to commend MVP Sports for always sponsoring our MVP player of the game. Drop by the car, guys. Have a look at them.
So look at the Timpanogos huddle over there. See the body language is a little bit flat, a little bit down.
Subdued.
Subdued. That is a good word to use.
Maybe I should go down and tell them about the Notre Dame game.
That might be a good motivator for them.
It's an exact score, 9-2.
Once again, it's in the second quarter. You know, being able to score in 7 or 8 seconds in lacrosse, this game is nowhere near out of reach.
No, no.
But if Timpanogos isn't able to figure out how to defend Spanish Fork in transition, this could be a very long night for them.
It would help if they would win more face-offs.
Yes.
I think they've only won 2 face-offs.
2 out of the, how many have we had?
10.
11? Yeah.
There's 9 goals and 1 start the game.
And then 1 at the start of the second quarter as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably, from what I've seen from Timpanogos, is probably going to involve a little bit more aggression on the wings that you were talking about. Those wing players that start out on the sides of the face-off. They really need to get in there and be able to check the ball loose from Spanish Fork's stick. You have Tanner Shields and number 8, David Delano for Timpanogos at the face-off dot. Coming out of the timeout. See what adjustments Timpanogos was able to make to be able to get possession of their offense.
Timpanogos got the ball away.
Just like we were talking about.
They pick it up.
There's a face-off win. Could be the thing that needs to start.
Spanish Fork comes in, knocks the ball loose. It's got a loose ball.
Good double-team trail check by Wyatt Devlin.
And
throws it away. So
bad clear. Timberwolves pick it up, drop it. It's a free ball.
Loose ball in midfield.
Warriors are pushing forward. They take it.
And drops it.
Yeah, he had that long stick way up in the air and lost the ball.
Here's Timpanogos in transition with numbers. Number 13, Adam Hatterley carrying the ball. Spanish Fork is able to get back. And there's another flag.
There's a flag down.
And because the ball didn't touch the ground, Timpanogos is able to retain possession. And if they can get a shot off and score, they will have scored and be able to have the power play. Have that extra man on offense. Good pass to the middle. Missed just barely. We'll see. Looked like it was Porter Graham.
Well,
no, Ben Fisher's heading to the penalty box.
Warriors picked up the ball, so that's when the referee blew the whistle. Penalty box is to the left of the bench. That's why he goes in and sits down there.
You'll see Spanish Fork, their defense, because they have 1 less man, they'll stay a little bit tighter.
Yeah,
and allow those outside shots.
Was that a goal? That was a goal.
That was a goal.
Yeah, I didn't see it go in.
Some crazy spin on that ball.
Yeah,
it almost bounced sideways.
Hit the ground and stopped. I didn't even see the net move.
Great shot by Clayton Farley to pull Timpanogos a little closer. And that might just be the spark that the Timberwolves need to
get a little fire in their checking.
You see the energy on the sidelines is a little bit better. Coaches are animated. Gavin McLean wins the faceoff for Spanish Fork against David Delano, number 8 for Timpanogos.
Okay, the Warrior didn't catch the ball. It dropped to the ground, but he was able to get to it first.
A little bit of a lack of focus from Wyatt Lefevre, number 18.
If the Timpanogos player had been watching a little closer, he could have got there, fought for the ball.
There's a great defense by number 1, Tanner O'Brien for Timpanogos, is able to take the ball away and push Ben Blade out of bounds, which is a turnover. Now here's that full field press that Ride from Spanish Fork is able to knock the ball loose. Playing a little bit of hockey on the ground right now.
We got a free ball.
Tate Merrill scoops up the ball and passes it off to Ben Blade.
TV announcers call it a scrum.
Throws a behind-the-head pass to Wyatt Lefevre. Ran himself a bit out of an angle for the shot. But Spanish Fork's able to retain possession. They'll settle down. They'll get their substitutions on, get their defensive midfielders off, and get their offensive midfielders on.
Oh, tried to get a man that right next to the crease on the net and overshot.
And we have a flag down. Thrown near the midfield. That usually means that that's an offsides call.
Yeah.
We'll see what the official signals to the table. Yeah, it's a trip with possession that the official signaled to the table, which is a 30-second penalty. And that's on number 8, David Delano for Timpanogos. So that will put Spanish Fork on the extra man offense. And we see Bradley Gardner out there, number 33 with the long stick.
And we got a pass through the front of the net, comes back
out.
Get
the skip pass up to Brad. And the idea of having a long pull on there is he has a little bit more stick to put a little bit more oomph on the ball if he can put it on cage as he shoots high.
Well, he's got that long stick, and with a long stick you can throw it farther, but not as accurate sometimes.
Depends on how familiar you are with your stick, obviously.
Yeah.
But usually the defenders, the ones with the long sticks, don't usually have the stick skills to be able to be on EMO. It requires a lot of fast ball movement, getting the ball in and out of your stick really quick. So we have a shot.
I think we got the ball in the net that time.
Yes, we did. The shot off the goalie's hip on his stick side.
It's a good thing that goalie's got a helmet.
Yes.
Who was it?
Number 11, Kirby Farnworth.
Hey, we got a double.
Kirby with 2 goals today. That puts Spanish Fork up 10-3. Had a loose ball push against Spanish Fork, which is when there's an illegal body check thrown, but the player doesn't have possession of the ball. The ball is loose. And you'll see the official put his hand up and might hear him yell, "Play on," which if Spanish Fork would have gained possession of the ball at that point, they would have blown the play dead and given the ball back to Timpanogos. But if Timpanogos scoops it, they let the play go on. Bradley Gardner spinning through the defense, but gets the ball taken away. There's an unsettled opportunity for Timpanogos.
Oh, he lost the ball.
Wyatt Wiest drops the ball, though. So Timpanogos will settle into their 6-on-6 half-field offense. Shot and a save by Morgan Dunn.
Well, Timpanogos has a player behind the goal, but not very far behind.
Peyton Kimber, cross field to Austin James. Fakes a shot low and finishes high. Beautiful transition.
Wide open player, got the pass and scored it. Our second double.
Once again.
11-3 right now.
And most of Spanish Fork's goals have come off of transition. That's really where they're doing most of their damage tonight. You see that Timpanogos, a lot of their defenders are watching the ball more than watching the man behind them. That's probably leading to those open crossfield passes.
Okay, we got a free ball, and they're coming up. Warriors take possession.
Tanner Shields is able to scoop it.
Pass the ball around the front of the goal area. let everybody settle into their positions. Goes behind the net, cross behind the net. He'll probably bring it out.
You'll see the Spanish Fork is kind of in an open set with nobody really in the middle. And that set's usually used to just move the ball around so that they can get their substitutions in, their offensive specialists. We see their second midfield line in right now. Tanner Shields, Brady McGoffin, and Chase Coleman.
Okay, now we're going to go into the attack. He comes through, passes back.
Good defense by the
Ball
Timpanogos.
comes loose because it's hit by the stick.
Here's Timpanogos in transition.
They're coming down, but he's picked up by the Warrior.
Great poke check by Tanner Shields to knock the ball loose, but Timpanogos is able to retain possession. And we have another flag down. Penalty will be on number 6, Tanner Shields. That's a push with possession. So he'll be in the penalty box for 30 seconds or until Timpanogos scores.
Tanner Shields will sit for 30 seconds in a hold.
Timpanogos' last goal came off of an extra man opportunity. We'll see if they can capitalize again.
If you pass it around properly, you'll find an open man.
Always will. Beautiful low angle shot by number 7, Clayton Farley. That's his second goal of the day, I believe.
Well, they've doubled their score this half in the second period.
They've done so with the extra man opportunities. See a lot of teams that don't convert in that very well because they can't move the ball fast enough or they take shots that are too far out. But Timpanogos has been very disciplined, very patient with their extra man offense.
Oh, 2 men fall down while the Warrior goes through. He passes off. He's trying to set up, missed the pass.
Good defense by number 17, Max Young, to force that bad pass.
And the halftime is over. Hope you've really enjoyed the game so far. It's been a little lopsided, but possibly the Timberwolves will come back with a little more fire in that second half and be able to narrow that score down a little bit. Like's been said, it's not out of reach. All you take is a couple of good shots and you're back in the game.
We'll see what adjustments the coaches make coming out of halftime. Especially Timpanogos, see if they can draw some more penalties and keep executing on the extra man offense.
Well, before we break for the halftime commercial, I want to thank our 2 sponsors for the game, MVP Sports and the Car Guys. Referees are going to take their break, and we'll be back very shortly for the second half, third quarter. Thank our sponsors, MVP Sports and the Car Guys, for sponsoring tonight. Give you a little recap of what's gone on today or this evening. The 2 teams, the Spanish Fork Warriors and the Timpanogos Timberwolves, are faced off. Old rivalries. Kids have graduated, new rivalries are starting. We've got so far very balanced scoring for the Warriors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that have scored 1, and 2 players have scored 2 each. So we've got a 9-point game. Now the other team started off rather slow. They only had 2. Well, for a long time they didn't have any. But then they started scoring and they got 2, and then there was a little drought. And they came back again in that second half and got 2 more. I should say the second period. They got 2 more. And right now it's 11-4. Even though it's a little lopsided, Timberwolves have a chance they can come back and score if they will win a few face-offs and take some possession on those free balls. They've got a chance to get back in this game. I'm sure the coach has talked to them about that very thing at the halftime.
I'm sure they did as well. Timpanogos, most of their scoring has come on the extra man opportunity off of the Spanish Fork penalties. So I would imagine that's one of the adjustments that Timpanogos is going to try and make, to try and draw a few more penalties to be able to get their extra man unit on the field.
With all the stick swinging, I'm surprised we haven't had a slashing. There's been a couple of cross checks out there that kind of let it slide because no involvement with the play. And it's kind of a play-on situation, and it wasn't a bad one. I think at the high school level, it's not as violent and hard at it as they do in the college and the semi-pros. I was watching a game the other day, and boy, they were going at it. The announcer even said, referees are letting them play, and they were. A lot of sticks slashing. There's a lot of cross-checking, several pushes. Referee let them play because overall it was still pretty clean play, but it was pretty hard.
You'll see that kind of depends on the coach's philosophy for each team, how physical or how finesse a team tries to play.
Well, these teams had met each other in NCAA, and sorry about that. Microphone got knocked off. The two teams had met each other in NCAA, and so there was a kind of a rivalry between them. But you never know in lacrosse. I've been watching lacrosse for several years, and I've always enjoyed the game. It's a very fast game, a lot of action. Like a lot of sports, if you don't understand what's going on, you might get disinterested. But I think if you watch a little bit and find out that the skill that is involved, it's not easy swinging that stick and trying to get that ball in that net. Visualize a basketball hoop and the guy standing on top of the hoop kicking the balls away when you're trying to shoot a basket.
Makes things very difficult.
That's the job of the goalie out there. In soccer, you've seen the soccer goals underneath the football goal posts. You got a large net, and you got a goalie in front, but you got a lot of area to shoot at. In lacrosse, you don't have that area. But in lacrosse, that ball is going to come a lot faster. And I've seen the shots come so fast. They shoot from the top of that goal corner, and it's in the net before the goalie can move the stick.
Definitely true. The fastest clock lacrosse shot, actually, the world record is 115 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So, depending on how much a person's worked on his shot, those balls can be flying in anywhere from 90 to about 110.
I imagine the goalie, even though he's got some padding, that ball can sting a little bit. That ball comes in pretty good, and if the goalie loses track because he's screened, he can take a pretty good hit.
You definitely can take a pretty good hit. They wear a larger chest pad to protect kind of the more vital parts of your body. But if you notice watching the goalie warm up here, Jacob Grimshaw, he's not really wearing anything else. He's wearing a cup to protect his groin area and a helmet and larger gloves with kind of thicker padding on the thumbs to protect his hands a little bit more. And he's got that big chest pad, but everywhere else he's pretty exposed. So if you take a shot off the shin or a shot off the elbow or the shoulder or anything like that, it can definitely sting for about a week.
Well, I've seen a lot of balls bounce off that head helmet. And the Warriors are taking the field, so we're going to have a face-off here pretty quick. Timberwolves are jogging out nice and fast. Well, the first half was.
Once again, we'll see what kind of adjustments both coaches made for Spanish Fork to keep up their scoring or for Timpanogos to be able to get back in this game.
Well, sometimes if you get a lead, you kind of hold back. We'd like to take a quick break here so that we can bring you a couple more of our sponsors, and hope you'll join us again right after the break. Time for the face-off. Looks like the Warriors have the ball. They come through trying to get a shot off.
Josh Adamson loses the ball, is trying to dodge through about 4 or 5 guys on that possession, which is something that's Not usually advisable when you're
No.
on offense.
That's where you end up getting a sore arm because they're swinging at your stick and you're trying to go through.
Exactly.
Player with the ball, the Timberwolves player comes running through, knocked down the Warrior, retained possession. Nope, he lost it out of bounds.
Errant pass for Timpanogos. Josh Warren picks up the ball and clears it across the half line for Spanish Fork. Then moves it to Josh Adamson. Gives it to Austin James. The Spanish Fork will settle down and get their offensive midfielders onto the field. Ben Blade on the dodge. Shot went off the pipe, it looks like. Picked up by Chase Coleman. Spanish Fork pretty content to work clock. It's probably one of the main adjustments we're going to see from them coming out of the half. Is just to possess and really try to execute their offense.
Yeah, practice some of the cut moves so that they can work on getting the man open.
It's Brady McGoffin on the dodge from second midfield. Rolls back to his left hand, but the slide's there from Timpanogos. So he'll move it along to the next man.
I said the term cut. This is it's like running a screen. Player with the ball takes a run. His teammate stands still and he runs next to him, and the player that's chasing him from the opponent can't get to him because the screen. And then he's wide open to either take a shot or look for an open man close to the net and get a clear shot.
Poor positioning by Spanish Fork on the backside by Austin James leads to the turnover. Timpanogos is able to get the backup because they were closest to the ball when and where it went out off that shot.
Okay. Sub for each team going back on the field.
Here's Timpanogos in transition with some numbers. Shot goes high by number 16, Wyatt Weist, for Timpanogos. Number 22, Tristan Persons.
There we go. Found
So
the light
as
switch.
we get the lights on in our booth. Backside cut by Timpanogos. Pass just barely missed by the attackman on crease. It's a good flick by Josh Adamson right between his legs to get it past the defenders. Austin James is able to scoop the ball and get possession for Spanish Fork. Almost throws it away. But Adamson's able to corral the pass. And
he gets through the players coming past the Timberwolves in front of the net. Pulls it out in front of the goal to the Warriors, attackers.
Bradley Gardner on the dodge and the shot. There's that long pull shot again. Bounces just high over the goal.
Warriors will keep possession. Chase Coleman's shot goes wide.
Another switch that I just noticed, adjustment that Timpanogos made. They have a new goalie in cage, Parker Madsen, number 12. See if he's able to get any more stops. He's saving at a 55.4 percentage so far this season. So a little over half the shots he sees he's able to save, which is pretty good for a goalie.
Yeah. They had a Warrior take a shot that went past the net and is picked up and brought back into play. Warrior is bringing it over, and it goes in again.
Josh Adamson, number 24, with the shot in the goal. Finishes right above the goalie's head. Off the assist from Austin James.
That's another double. They got the same goalie for Warriors, don't they?
Spanish Fork also switched goalies actually, and they've been doing that basically all season, kind of much like Denver did last season with Jamie Faust and their goalie that they have this season. Each goalie plays a half.
Yeah.
Usually they start the game with Morgan Dunn, number 1, and they finish the game with number 37, Jacob Grimshaw. Both seniors. So there's going to be a bit of a void to fill next season for Spanish Fork after they graduate. Peyton Kimber on the defense is able to take it away. He's on the run in transition. Throws the ball sailing over Ben Blade's head. Peyton Kimber, number 40, usually is on the first offensive midfield line. Looks like the Spanish Fort coaching staff is letting the players kind of play some different positions. And Peyton didn't look like he was used to that extra 3 feet of stick. Austin James can't scoop up the ball the first try. Ben Blade does, and the shot goes over the goal.
Well, Spanish Fork won the foot race that time, got to the ball, bringing it back into play. Passes up to the left. He took a shot. Goalie blocked it down.
Wyatt Devlin with the shot that's blocked. And we have number 00, Mitch McWhorter, defender for Timpanogos. Tries to run it through a double team. It's not
Warrior
successful, but is able to get a great stick check. Sends the ball to number 3.
I think we got a flag on the field.
Dunn. We have 2 flags. That's probably going to be a slash on Wyatt Devlin, number 22 for Spanish Fork. Hit Timpanogos player squarely across the back. Not even close to hitting his stick. If you've watched college lacrosse before, you'll notice that they let them play until the possession actually changes. But in high school, the high school rules, it's when the ball touches the ground.
Oh, okay.
That they blow the whistle and enforce the penalty. So with the penalty on Wyatt Devlin, Timpanogos will be man up again. And they are 3 for 3 so far today whenever they have extra man opportunities. Been very patient, very good at moving the ball around.
Timpanogos is coming over to the right side, pass it back out, bad pass, and it goes free.
Tanner Shields is able to scoop the ball for Spanish Fork and throws it wide of Wyatt Lefevre. Foot race to the ground ball. We'll see a loose ball push on Timpanogos, which will give the ball to Spanish Fork. Once again, it's an illegal body check when the player doesn't have possession.
Most of that's out of frustration.
I've had a couple of those myself when I was playing in high school.
Better. Had to turn the lights out. I couldn't see through the glass.
Do need to get a bit of a window cleaner up here.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
I can't tell which is a spot in the glass and which is a ball.
Tate Merrill on the dodge for Spanish Fork. Passes to Brandon Bates, who pulls a shot wide right. Spanish Fork has the backup and will retain possession.
You've probably noticed that the goals are set closer to the middle of the field than they are to the end line. That gives the two teams an opportunity to have more advantage when they're on the attack so that they can move the ball around better. Imagine in a basketball game if the court extended another 10 feet and you could dribble around behind the basket.
That would be nice. Shot by Ben Fisher. Didn't really have his feet set, so that shot kind of went right into the goalie's stick. Tanner Shields with the ride, knocks the ball loose and into the goal. It's good aggression by Tanner Shields. So that's what's similar to an own goal in soccer. I'm not sure who you would give the credit to for that goal.
Well, we'll give it to number 6. He hasn't scored yet.
That makes the score 13-4 for Spanish Fork. Once again, the game isn't totally out of reach yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah, they've got 4 minutes left in the period. And if they can do something in the next 4 minutes, they'll have a chance to get back in the game.
I would think as a coach, you would probably prefer to be, it's a 9-goal game right now, you'd probably prefer to be within 5 or 6 goals by the end of this quarter if possible. That would give you something to work with heading into the fourth quarter.
You'll notice how the Timberwolves player was running around looking for a player to pass to, and he had one that was wide open all the way over there on his left. But the Spanish Fork Warrior was giving him such grief with his stick checking that he couldn't get the pass off. Here we got the ball go through. The Warriors are trying to take possession, and they got it. Timberwolves knocked the ball loose and went out, so the Timberwolves gave him possession. The ball is coming around behind. He's running through. Timberwolves should have a player go back and take that back position behind the goal if he's going to come up. Now he's going back there. We got
Ryan Dalton unable to scoop the ball, so he goes and kind of clears out men so that Peyton Kimber's able to get it. Give him space and time and room to be able to scoop that ground ball. Peyton Kimber again sends the pass sailing high, not used to that 3 feet of stick, that extra 3 feet.
There is a big difference between that long and short pole.
Large difference. Large enough that Peyton Kimber drops the pass and the ball goes out of bounds. Number 00, Mitch McWhorter, defender for Timpanogos on the clear. Dumps it off to number 13, Adam Hatterley. Timpanogos is able to get the ball in the box to avoid that 30-second count and the failure to advance call. Now they'll settle into their 6-on-6 half-field offense.
He runs all the way around behind the goal, finally passes off to the front.
If you're fast enough, why not? You'll see another flag down. As the ball hits the ground, we'll probably see a slash on number 32, Gavin McLean.
They're getting a little careless when they're trying to get that stick.
The replay here, you notice as the stick was swinging by Gavin, he hit him on the shoulder a couple times, which is a slash. You're only supposed to hit the player's stick as you're swinging around.
They'll give you a little leeway sometimes if you hit the arms instead of the stick, but shoulders and heads are no-nos.
Shot just
right
inside the top of the box.
Yeah. Goalie scooped it up right at his feet. He tings it up, throws it forward.
This is Bradley Gardner, who's going to carry it across the midfield himself.
Timpanogos player runs with him. He gets it back.
Spanish Fork's able to clear the ball, get a touch inside their offensive box, and settle their offense for their 6-on-6. Well, that is until they throw the ball away.
Well, I think if the Timberwolves would press a little bit more, they're giving the Warriors too much free time to find open men. And when you got somebody standing out there wide open, it's easier to catch a ball.
A lot easier to catch a ball when you're not under pressure. Spanish Fork seems to have gotten a little bit sloppier on their offensive passing as well this second half. The official calls that Timpanogos is closer to the ball on the end line there.
Picks the ball up, brings it back into the field of play, runs up to the right side corner of the box. Apparently he missed the pass. The player for Timberwolves had to run back and pick it up.
It's just a case of sometimes you see in football the guys are wide open and they drop the ball because they're turning to run too quickly. It's just a case of not looking the ball all the way in.
We got a ball shot straight up in the air. Apparently the shot was blocked.
Then flicked up off the turf, and Timpanogos is able to grab it out of the air. Errant pass Deflected by Spanish Fork.
Yeah, Spanish Fork got his cross on it. A lot of times, if you're not watching close, looks like a bad pass, but the defender has tipped the pass and it goes out of bounds.
Timpanogos takes their first time out of the second half. They'll have one left. I think we'll see what kind of adjustments the coaches can make here in the timeout.
Looks like that was the end of the quarter.
We'll be here for the start of the fourth quarter.
Okay, on the face-off.
Ball's loose. White Devlin able to scoop it up in space.
Warriors
Spanish Fork has possession.
take possession. They bring it down into the goal box. And immediately he's picked up by a Timberwolf. Oh, he's wide open.
And Fisher with the left-handed
And he
shot.
got it in there.
And that's a goal by Ben Fisher.
What's his number, Fisher?
Number 38.
There you go,
See
Ben.
the replay here. He's able to dip his shoulder, protect his stick, and then get it out quick for the left-handed shot low on the goalie.
Another single score.
You see the excitement coming from the Spanish Fork bench. Ben Fisher's a player who doesn't get in a whole bunch. There's just it's not that he's not a good player. It's just that there's a lot of other good midfielders ahead of him on the substitution line. So for him to be able to get a score in like that is really exciting for a team.
Ball goes out of bounds, the Warriors ball.
Spanish Fork's able to force the turnover off the face-off that Timpanogos initially won. So they'll work to transition the ball up into their offensive half of the field. Bradley Gardner runs it up the right side. Uses a face dodge to get by the defender. Almost throws it away, but Porter-Graham's able to control it.
I've noticed a lot of the players don't use a single hand on the stick to shield their body, shield the ball with their body to prevent that stick check.
There's different spaces where that's advantageous and different places where it's not. As Bradley Gardner shoots it right into the goalie's stick.
All the goalie had to do was just hold the stick still and the ball bounced right into it.
And that's all that happened. Timpanogos on the clear. Nice speed from the defender.
Yeah, he's bringing it all the way down into the goal area, passes it through.
It's number 17, Max Young. And have offsides on Timpanogos.
It's a problem when you take it all the way down. Your attacker doesn't clear the area, give you permission to get in there.
Exactly. In lacrosse, you have to have 3 attackmen on the offensive side of the field at all times and 3 defenders and 1 goalie on the defensive side of the field at all times. And so if a defender is wanting to run the ball down, one of the midfielders has to stay back to kind of hold his place, make sure they always have 4 on the half line. And Timpanogos didn't get that midi back that time.
They still do it in college and semi-pros.
Yes,
Yeah.
many times. Good clear by Timpanogos, and a late flag comes in. Ball hits the ground, we'll see that penalty enforced. And Spanish Fork was offsides. There's a miscommunication between the attack and the midfield. Somebody wasn't sure that they were staying back. So we'll see Tanner Shields in the penalty box for 30 seconds, and Timpanogos will take a timeout to set up their extra man.
I imagine a lot of these little missteps like that happen when the coaches start switching players around.
Definitely does, because people are they're used and set to what they're doing, and they do it really well, and then you go to a different position. You're just really excited to be doing something new, and you're not thinking necessarily so much about the technical details of it, whether you're supposed to stay back or not, or where you're supposed to be on the field.
When I first started playing basketball, I had a hard time adjusting between forward and guard.
That makes 2 of us.
I was tall enough that I could play a forward when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Now I not quite tall enough to be a guard.
Exactly. With the way the athletes are being grown these days for basketball. I'm only 6 feet myself, and growing up, you know, like you, I was able to play center and forward and do pretty well at it, but didn't develop the ball handling skills to be a very good guard when everybody else shot past me.
Yeah, I remember one of the first games I played in. This guy was coming down the court like a rocket, right straight at me, and I stood there, put my arms out to guard him. He just ran right by me. And then I figured out, well, why not move with them?
Exactly.
Which is much what they're supposed to be doing in lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
They need to move with the man. Don't let him run all over the place, because pretty soon he's wide open. Somebody's going to pass it to him.
Exactly. Might have been good advice for Timpanogos a little earlier in the game. There's a shot and a goal by number 13, Adam Hatterley for Timpanogos. About 15 yards out. Not sure if Jacob Grimshaw was screened or if he just wasn't paying attention. But that ball was able to whiz right through there. So Timpanogos has 1 goal in transition and 4 on their extra man opportunities. They're 4 for 5 tonight, which is a very, very good percentage, statistically speaking, for lacrosse. Usually you're lucky if you can convert on half of your extra man opportunities. Yeah. And they're converting on 80% of them tonight. It's very well coached.
Timpanogos coming through on the attack, coming up on the right side. Passes across, gets over to the left.
There's another
takes
shot from about 20 yards out from Timpanogos. Jacob Grimshaw's able to save this one.
Shot goes wide, and Jacob Grimshaw hits it up.
The Warriors are coming back on the attack. He passes forward. He was going to take a shot, but the Timberwolves just kind of nudged him off of the area, and he lost the opportunity.
Great body positioning by the Timpanogos defender to be able to force the player low, not let him get a shot off.
Out of bounds, Timpanogos ball.
Okay, turnover there. Timpanogos is going to take possession. Again, he's running the whole length of the field.
This time they do have their midfielder back so that they don't get called off sides.
He passes up, take the ball up to the top of the goal area. Moving it in, he passes across to the right. Attacker behind the net has the ball, trying to work through, being well defended.
See the signal the official made that Timpanogos player was in the crease, that circle around the goal, which you can't do on offense. Now sometimes in that situation the referee might call a push, say that the offensive player was pushed in the crease and the Timpanogos would have been able to retain possession, but the official decided that it was under the player's own momentum. It's a really, really subjective call in lacrosse, much like the block charge call in basketball.
Okay, we had a shot, the goalie parried it back over the top and out of bounds. Warriors taking the ball in, pulled it around. He took a really close angle shot, and he scored it.
It's number 8, Brady McGoffin, with the goal. Great job to get above GLE.
Well,
see him with the what's known as a question mark dodge, where he kind of comes upfield, stops, and turns back over his shoulder and shoots a jump shot. He's able to put it right over the goalie's left shoulder.
We have 9 players on the Warriors that haven't scored yet.
9 of the, what, 25?
About. $16-5.
We see Spanish Fort coaches letting people play positions that they might not usually get to play in a game. See number 1 on the far side offensively out there. That's Morgan Dunn, who started at goalie the first half, running around with a short stick.
Well, they had 2 players aren't quite sure what they were doing. They ran into each other, dropped the ball, and Spanish Fort came up with the ball anyway.
Spanish Fort calls possession immediately, or excuse me, calls a timeout immediately as they gain possession. Have about a minute in that timeout. And
we're going to be hard pushed to get an MVP for this game.
we are.
I think we're going to draw lots.
Cut the straws and see who gets it.
The MVP Sports in Spanish Fork is sponsoring our MVP player of the game. I want to give thanks to the New Car guys that are also sponsoring the game. Two fine businesses here in Spanish Fork. Drop in and see what they have to offer. Also, you might take a moment to remember that Spanish Fork is on YouTube as well as the internet, sfcn.org, and go to the sports. You can watch the streaming video. You can go to YouTube and watch it live, taking advantage of people that are out of town and being unable to come to the game or even watch it on the Spanish Fork Cable Network.
That YouTube channel can be found at youtube.com/SpanishFork17. That's 17, not the word 17.
Okay, back from the timeout. Warriors are passing behind the net again, setting up for a pass around.
The positioning carousel continues for Spanish Fork as we see the entire starting defensive line out there with short sticks, including the goalie. And the starting attackmen are all playing defense right now for Spanish Fork.
Ball is deflected out of bounds. It will be Timpanogos' ball.
Pass was deflected by Josh Warren for Spanish Fork. Ooh, almost a shot and a goal for Timpanogos. Once again, it's just getting too excited to shoot before catching the ball. It's Gavin McLean, normally playing midfield. Normally plays midfield using the long pole to play defense today. Well, the second half anyway. Timpanogos is able to back up the shot, so they will try and clear it into their offensive end.
Pass it over to the goalie. He's bringing it up. Passes it crossed into the open man in the midfield. Midfield player moving up into the attack in the goal area, passes up.
He's number 9, Zamir Delano, passes to his brother, David.
Oh, we got a player down.
Turns it over. We do have a player down.
He tried to go between three players, and I think somebody got him with a stick.
A player down. That would be David Delano, number 8 for Timpanogos, I believe.
We got a little replay here.
Let's see. Well, it looks like...
I'm not sure, but it looked like a slash got him on the leg.
I wouldn't say it was that. It looked like an errant stick might have caught him in the groin.
Well, that hurts even worse.
That's even worse. I hope he was wearing a cup.
It's like somebody's mascot's out there making sure everything's okay.
That would be Ike, the Warrior Ball dog. He's the dog of the trainer, Jeff Dunn, who's out there attending to the injured player in the red hat you see on your screen right now. He provides the halftime entertainment here for Spanish Fork. Really, really good at catching a Frisbee.
Yeah, I was watching him out there. He's getting up now.
Good to see David Delano get up under his own power and be able to get off the field. It's always scary whenever you see a player go down.
Yeah, especially if you didn't see what happened. He'll sit down and rest for a bit. He might even get back in the game.
We'll see. Before that injury, we had a shot by Bradley Gardner that went bouncing over the goal. Spanish Fork was able to back it up. So we're back on the offensive end for the Warriors. About 5.5 minutes left in the game.
Okay. Warriors bringing in the ball, but 3 of the Timberwolves screened him off.
Ryan Dalton can't handle the pass.
Picked up a loose ball, passed it to the goalie. He's got it, throws it up.
And sends it out of bounds.
Yep.
Turn it back over to Spanish Fork. Tate Merrill will scoop up the ball and initiate the offense for the Warriors. Once again, as we see all the different players switching positions tonight, Ryan Dalton not used to the 3 less feet of stick, and so throws it over the head.
Timberwolves take possession and come down the right side. They got a player coming in from the backside if they see him. Nope.
Spanish Fork's able to pick him up coming into the box. This is a coach for Timpanogos. I mean, you have to give Timpanogos credit for the Spanish Fork has been doing very well this season. They have a new coaching staff.
Bad pass, pushes it out of bounds. Timberwolves will take back.
Yep. Spanish Fork's a pretty established program. They just had a couple down years with a couple coaching changes and some graduating seniors that left that were really an integral part of the team. But this senior class is definitely dedicated to getting Spanish Fork back where it was a few years ago, competing for state championships. And so for Timpanogos to have put 6 goals on one of the better defenses in the state in their first year back as a varsity program is definitely a tribute to the Timpanogos coaches, especially how effective they've been on extra man offense, which is usually the hardest part to get down when you're a first year program.
We have just over 3.5 minutes to go. There should be enough time for Timpanogos to get 1 or 2 more.
Say that Timpanogos was holding the ball, which would give possession to Spanish Fork. Bradley Gardner, defender
shot,
playing with the short stick, stuffed by the goalie.
Yeah. He got a rebound off the goalie, but his momentum carried him behind the goal.
Great save by the Timpanogos goalie.
We got a push down there.
See a push with possession as David Delano, that player who was down with injury a little bit ago, pushed Tate Merrill, the midfielder for Spanish Fork in the back, as he had the ball, which will give Spanish Fork the extra man advantage for 30 seconds.
Go into that tight 5-man zone defense.
The real key when you're man down on defense is to keep your stick up and in the passing lanes so that skip passes aren't as easy to make. There's Morgan, the first half goaltender.
He was standing just outside the crease, but just couldn't get his shot off.
If he would have switched to his left hand, could have increased his angle and probably put the ball in the back of the net. But goalies don't usually use anything but their right hand ever, or their strong hand, excuse me. So, close but no cigar. As Timpanogos throws the ball away on the clear, Gavin McLean's able to scoop the ball. Spanish Fork into transition. Bradley Gardner isn't able to handle the pass and turns it right back over to Timpanogos. 2.5 minutes left to go in the quarter.
Chick Hearn used to have a saying. Do you know who Chick Hearn was?
I've heard the name. You'll have to remind me.
He was the Lakers basketball announcer.
Oh, yes.
A zillion, 100 years. And
kind of in that same time period as Harry Carey, correct?
Yes.
For the Cubs?
Yeah. And he had a favorite saying that he would say about this time in every basketball game, it's garbage time.
Yep. That's what it is. A time to, hopefully as a coach, you don't use it as garbage and kind of throw it away. You're able to use it to get your players to execute their offense in a game situation, execute plays and defense, and really focus on the details that you try and teach in practice.
And we got another one. I hate to say this, but I forgot to write down the last two.
It's all right. All I know is that is definitely Ryan Dalton's first goal of the game and probably of the season. He normally plays long stick defender on the other side of the field. It's always exciting to be able to see guys try new things.
Remember, we do not run the scoreboard clock under 2 minutes to avoid any confusion out there. So the official time.
Yeah, hit the 2 minutes. We're down to a 0.
Just over 2 minutes.
Which means that Spanish Fork will be under an automatic stall warning whenever they get the ball into the offensive box. That's the rule in high school, at least, where they don't have a shot clock. The team who is up under 2 minutes has to keep the ball inside the box once they get in there. So if they step out, it's an automatic turnover.
Taking the ball around behind the
Great
net.
stick check.
He drops the ball, took a little swipe at the player, and that's why the referee just threw his
Late
flag up
flags
in the air.
coming in. That slash call will probably go against number 00, Mitch McWhorter for Timpanogos. He's out there swinging away with his long pole. Hit Tate Merrill squarely across the back as they were going for the ground ball, which makes the call pretty easy for the officials. Oh, excuse me. They're calling the penalty on number 99,
Yeah.
Tate Merrill.
Yeah, he had the ball knocked loose, and when the player,
It's an illegal cross check.
when the Timberwolf player went to pick it up, just took a good swipe at him.
Makes sense. I wasn't able to see the play very well. But you notice that the official kind of put his hands overhead almost in a safety motion that you see in football. That means that the penalty is non-releasable, which means no matter how many times Timpanogos scores in this next minute, that they will be man up for the full 1 minute of game time. So it's a really good opportunity for your offense if you can get a couple balls in the back of the net to score a couple quick ones.
Looks like they lost possession. Oh, it's a free ball.
Timpanogos is able to scoop it up at midfield. Double teamed. He's able to get away from pressure. Here's a shot. 15 yards out.
Goalie blocked it.
And it's that kind of game. Here goes Jacob Grimshaw.
Goalie's running
Got a
up with the
midfielder
ball.
back for him. You can tell he wants to score, but Timpanogos will have none of it. Spanish Fork has a failure to advance. Jacob Grimshaw will hustle back down the field. Shot right off the goalie's face mask by Brandon Bates.
Timberwolves player is running back, being chased. He crosses the ball on the pass, takes a shot.
Stuffed on the crease by Jacob Grimshaw, the goalie for Spanish Fork. It was a great pass right down to the crease for Timpanogos. It's an opportunity that he'd probably like to have back. So we hear the whistle go off at the table, and that's our game tonight.
That was it. Well, once again, folks, we want to give thanks to MVP and the car guys for doing our sponsoring for this evening. And I've decided what we're going to do. We're going to take the 1, 2, 3 players that are double scorers and go alphabetically in reverse. My last name starts with an O. I hated to have the coach say we're going to go alphabetically. So of the 3 players, we have
last name or first name?
Josh Adamson. Well, Josh, you had a good game, but I'm sorry, but you start with an A.
Tough luck.
Austin James.
Kirby Farnsworth. You had an excellent game, but you start with a F. And good Austin James is going to get our MVP. He scored 2 goals
getting
tonight.
The MVP. He's doing a lot of good work, and he had a couple of assists as well.
So again, that'll be at Salem. That'll be Saturday morning. The JV game.
As the team shake hands at midfield, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. for this game between Spanish Fork and Timpanogos. The next game for Spanish Fork is going to be basically a home game. It's going to be next Saturday over spring break at 11 a.m. against Desert Hills over in Salem. At the address is 600 East Salem Canal Road at the Loafer View Sports Complex. So if you're able to join us, we'd love to see you over there. And until then, my name is Alan Kimber.
I'm Al Odermatt. Remember, if you were unable to catch us in the whole game tonight, you want to watch the rest or that you missed, pick us up on SpanishFork.org or YouTube. Glad to have you with us tonight, and be sure and join us on our next games.
Thank you and good night.